Your vehicle's oxygen sensor is located in the exhaust manifold or pipe ahead of the catalytic converter. An oxygen sensor resembles a spark plug and has 1, 2, or 3 wires attached to it. For peak engine performance, we recommend replacing your oxygen sensor every 25 to 30,000 miles or every 2 years. The items you will need to replace your oxygen sensor include a socket set and torque wrench, an oxygen sensor socket, some penetrating oil, a wire cutter and crimper, some anti-seize compound, a cigarette lighter, a soldering gun and solder, and the correct replacement oxygen sensor for your vehicle. The first step in replacing your oxygen sensor is to start with a cool engine. In most instances, the oxygen sensor will be readily accessible. However, we remove the air cleaner for better viewing of the procedure. Then locate the sensor and spray some penetrating oil on the fitting to help loosen corrosion. Oxygen sensors are available with original equipment leads or as a universal type. Our demonstration will detail the steps involved for the installation on a universal type. Cut the existing wire or wires as near the sensor as possible. Disconnect the sensor connection on the other end of the wire and place the wire on the workbench. With a socket of the correct size, remove the old sensor from the exhaust manifold. For ease of removal, you may want to use a special oxygen sensor removal socket as shown. Some replacement sensors may come with fewer leads than the one you removed. For installation of these type, please refer to the instructions included with it. Slide a piece of heat shrink tubing over the new oxygen sensor wire and strip about 1/4 inch of insulation from the ends of the wires that are to be connected together. Reconnect the old wire to the new sensor with a crimper and butt-type wire connector supplied. We suggest soldering this connection with rosin core solder for a positive corrosion-free connection. For wiring details on your particular vehicle, consult the complete wiring instructions included with your new oxygen sensor. Then slide the heat shrink tubing over the connection and collapse the tubing with a heat gun or lighter until it shrinks and weather seals the connection. Most oxygen sensors come with anti-seize compound on the threads, but if yours doesn't, place a small dab of non-volatile anti-seize compound on the threads prior to installation. Do not, however, allow the anti-seize compound to get on the bulb of the sensor. Install the new sensor in the threads, starting it by hand, and tighten it with a torque wrench to 30 foot-pounds. Reconnect the sensor wire at the factory connector, and make sure the wire is routed away from any moving parts and the exhaust manifold. Reinstall the air cleaner assembly if earlier removed, and start the engine to ensure proper installation of the sensor. For a written version of testing and replacing your oxygen sensor, pick up your free copy of Champion Auto Store's Tech Tip number 37.
Now let's review the steps involved in replacing an oxygen sensor. As always, begin with a cool engine. Cut the old wire from the oxygen sensor near the sensor itself. Disconnect and remove the old sensor wire at the snap lock connector. Remove the old sensor from the exhaust manifold or pipe. Strip a 1/4 inch of insulation from the electrical wire attached to the sensor and also the wire you removed from the vehicle. Reconnect the electrical wire by soldering and use a heat shrink insulator. Apply a non-volatile anti-seize compound to the threads of the new sensor. Install the new sensor using an oxygen sensor socket and torque to the correct specification. Reconnect the wire and test drive the vehicle to ensure proper replacement.